Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Today, we're going to be building this 8x10 metal building from Patiowell. Let's do it. Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. This is the foundation for what we are about to build here today. I've got a Patiowell 8x10 foot steel building that we're going to put up here, and it's going to be our new chicken coop. You might be able to see around me here. This is a fenced in paddock we made many years ago, and we've never put a building up here, but we decided that we were going to move our chickens full-time to this paddock and leave our lower barn for other stuff. So that's what we're going to do here today. I didn't film this because it's going to be different depending on your location. You can build these things flat on the ground if you're lucky enough to have flat ground. As you can see here, we don't. And so we had to build it on a wooden platform like this. Of course, you can also build them out of concrete. Although again, putting it with a 3-foot span, a 3-foot drop here would have been just way too much money in concrete to do that. So we chose for pressure treated plywood. We got 3/4 inch ply here, 2x6 pressure treated, a couple of about 5 4x4 posts put into the ground. And up here on the front, we just have them resting on cinder block. It's only a little less than a foot off the front here, and this is where the front door is going to be. So we'll be able to access it through here. We'll dock a chicken door in and a ramp to go down so they'll have access to the paddock, the field here. And so that's the plan. Let me go ahead and get the camera off the tripod. I will show you the boxes. We're going to unbox all this stuff and lay it out because that's pretty much step one. While I'm doing that, my wife Jennifer, she's going to put flashing around the outside edges of this just to keep this edge stuff protected from moisture. Even though it's pressure treated, we want it to last at least our lifetime, and so that's just one little added layer of security that we're going to put in here. And so she's going to put that. We're going to wrap it about 3 inches and over, and then there'll be metal flashing all along the side here as well. All right, so here we go. Patiowell box 3 of 3, box 1 of 3, and box 2 of 3. These 3 boxes are going to contain foundation and roofing components, a lot of paneling, and of course screws and instructions. We already snuck in there and grabbed the instructions out just so we had an idea of what we were in for today, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be not the easiest thing I've ever put together, but it's take your time, do it right. They say 2 people, an average of 2 to 3 hours. I would bet all day and maybe even a little bit into tomorrow to do it the way we want to do it. But let me go ahead and pause the camera. I'll get all this stuff unboxed and we'll go from there. As you can see, we've got all of our bits and pieces put out, and there are a lot of bits and pieces. And we've got the flashing down on this now. So let's take a look at step 1. Now, I'm not going to film every inch of this, but we're going to be attaching our bottom railings together. And then we're going to be assembling our bottom railings onto the surface. But you don't screw it down yet, in case you need to make minor adjustments. So, all right, well, steps 1 through 4 are complete. Pretty simplistic at this point. We did lay down the flashing. One thing I am noticing is it's not a true 8x10, although it did say so in the directions. It's the overhang. We opted to push it off to that side as we're going to have a door here for the chickens, and I'll figure they'll end up roosting there sometimes on sunny days they get out of the sun. This here, the next step, as you can see, we're going to be taking out our, oh, I got it upside down. We're going to be taking out our corner pieces and installing those. Put a whole bunch of screws into that. And then we put our top braces on, and we're ready to already start hanging our walls. So this process so far is going pretty quickly. It took a lot longer to do the flashing than it has to do anything else at this point, but of course there's still just a few parts left. So however, I think I'm pretty hopeful. So is Jen. Let's do it. There we go. Just like that. And that was not a whole lot going on there. Just those are the end pieces, and now you're going to attach another piece to each side of that, one of the actual panels, and then we put on our top support. So moving right along. Okay, so look, walls are starting to take shape. I do want to show you I changed up things just a smidge. Because we have a little wind today, I went ahead, I hung my back piece, and then I kind of clamped everything in place, and I went ahead and hung this a little early. I haven't done the other side yet. This, however, I do want to point out, if I can get, I'll push the camera here to a different side, this faces out and like the bevel faces up. It really wasn't very clear in the instruction manual on that, but I wanted to make sure that the flat side, you all know the flat side goes here, and the tip is beveled down, and that's for the there's a little railing there for all the screws for the roof, see? Okay, so next step, fill this thing in. Lots of panels to go, get all that done. I'm gonna get this side here, and this side here done, and we'll worry about the front door after lunch and the roof after lunch. So we started this at 9:45. It's noon, so about an hour and 45 minutes to get to this point. Of course, some of that was the flashing, so maybe you take 45 minutes off of that. So there we go. Let's keep doing it. All right, check it out. Progress really moving along. This is not as time consuming as I imagined it would be. We're right here at lunch, so like I said, not counting the time we took to do the flashing or the foundation, we're looking at about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get the foundation, the metal foundation, and the walls up, and not bad. A little bit of an issue with wind, but we were, there's 2 of us working on it, so we were able to overcome that by using some, you might be able to see them in the back, we used some like paper clips, paper clamps, or whatever you call those things, and that got it pretty well snugged up. This wall right here, you see this little bow, it'll straighten out when we put our roof on there. But you can see, really looking good. Just a 1 or 2 minor dents in shipping, but nothing worth getting upset over right there. I mean, it is a storage building. Yeah, but yeah, looking good. And I'll take you on the inside here. We're gonna have our lunch. Might be able to hear my wife driving up the driveway with the tractor. And yeah, here it is on the inside. You got the flashing overlapping. So right there, really pleased with it, honestly. Not bad, and not time consuming. Like I said, I've seen some videos on this where it seemed like it took a lot longer than this. But honestly, I got 0 complaints on the assembly time so far. And taking a few breaks too, so. Now the roof part, it might be a little more difficult, especially since that backside's so far up off the ground, but yeah, we'll see. We're gonna bring a ladder in. And so after lunch, assembling the joists that go across the top there, and then putting our roof on. I'm kind of getting excited. Ready to move those chickens over into here too. Let's keep going. Okay, so next up, we're back from lunch, is assembling our supports. These 2 are the lower side ones, and then the last 2 get built and then get sandwiched together. Jen's working on that, and I'm over here. I have assembled these, which are our, risers, and I'm gonna go ahead and install those, one over here and one on the far side. So let's do that. Once these top caps are in place, then we can start putting our little support beams, our risers in, and I've just got it sitting there freely. We'll pop some bolts in there and hold that up. We'll do the other side. The center one looks like a little more tricky, but so far so good. Just want to point out how these are facing as well. It was kind of vague, but it's got a slight bevel, and you want to make sure that the holes, because we're going to be screwing in those sheets, are on that. And the corners kind of look like that. I had to make some small adjustments here. These brackets, when I installed them, they were a bit too high, so I just adjusted it, pushed it down a little bit. Now they fit in there perfectly. As you can see, the slight bevel that has on that side. Cool, well, let's do the center one. So as you can see, 1, 2, and maybe not the third one, but we have all of our panels in place and everything's looking good. So it's time. It's 147 screws, I think is what it said it needs, plus the little washers that go on them. But it's time to start installing the roof paneling, and we're going to work from that far side. Let's see. We're going to work from that side over there, come across. We'll leave this one open, do the entire other side there as well, and then we'll work on our roof cap and stuff. They say to leave it open so you can reach in there and get what you need to do. So that is what we're going to do. Let's do it. Something important worth noting here is that each of these is a different P6, P4, P3. You got to get those in order, or the lines or the holes won't line up. So that's kind of pay attention mode, I guess, is the advice I can give you. The roof cap is on. I've cut it right there, and we have to put the trim along the side. However, there's only so much ladder work I can do before I've had enough. So instead of finishing that portion right now, we're going to move on to these 2 doors here. But let me take you inside, show you. I'm real happy with this. I mean, look at it. Really nice. Came out real well. All the holes lined up except for like one. And I think maybe it was just tweaked just ever so slightly as far as I measured this out as far as, trying to get my corner straight. And I think maybe just got one like 1/4 of an inch off. That's about all not enough to really cause problems, but enough to annoy you, you know what I mean? But yeah, she's coming along now. Now it's about 4:30. So we did do quite a bit of work. I'll be honest, I'm a little older. Just hit the 50 mark, and these roofs, they kind of wore me down, so they took a little longer than probably should have. But when messing around on a ladder, it's not a bad idea to take your time, But we're gonna knock out the doors. When I'm done with the doors, I'll see if my back and legs have recovered. And if I have, we'll finish the trim tonight. If not, we'll just start it back up in the morning, just like the last few pieces. But take a look at the yard. I mean, we had piles and piles and oodles of stuff, and now we're down to those 2 panels, which are the doors, some bracing, and that rest of that stuff is just trim. So making great progress. Really like the look. I like this color. Let me walk around the side here, and you can see I think it's like, we were trying to decide, is it gray, is it brown? I don't know. It's like a smoky colored, like smoked oyster. And you can see down there where the paneling is going to go. Those are the door. There's a little hole right there for the latch. There's another one on top. Our little flashing job that we did. But yeah, I like it. I like the look of this so far. We're pretty happy with the way it came together. You never know. Is it going to be real paint, or is it just going to go together quickly? And this one's, I'm happy to say it's going together quickly. Okay, so we're building the doors here, and this isn't too bad. Got some cross bracing here that kind of puts it together, and then the bottom and the top are identical. They just go in here like so, and it just gives rigidity to the whole thing. Kind of helps tie it all together this way. It's actually a really neat design how they went ahead and did this. I like it. And like everything, it just uses these standard screws here. There's not a whole lot of specialty to it. They don't need washers on this side. The other side, you need to put the washers on. The other one's already built. We just figured I'd show you what I'm doing here. And so when you get done on this side, you flip it over. There's 4 on the outside there, and those get they get the washers because they're kind of waterproofing. But yeah, it won't be long now. I'll have the doors on, and I've been talking to Jen. We're thinking that we'll probably call it a night after this and just finish doing the trim in the morning. I'm kind of getting hungry. We didn't really eat a big lunch, so yeah, we'll probably do that. I don't need the washers for this one. Now let's keep going. Check it out. It's starting to look like a real shed now. We've got our roof. We just got to finish our roof cap, but look, we got our doors. Check it out. Hey, the gap looks nice on it. It may open up. Nice little hinges down there. All right, as you can see, we've got the front cap on already and the rear cap on already. We're just down to the last side here, and it'll be time for the official let's finish this thing up mode. So there it is, all wrapped up. It took us 7 hours, 2 people, 7 hours, not including how much time it took us to build the deck or put the flashing on for the deck, but 7 hours start to finish, from unboxing to final screw into the roof. And I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod. We'll do a full walk around of this thing, show you the key points that you probably wanna remember if you're gonna try to build one of these your own, and that'll wrap things up. So here it is. The last bits and pieces that we installed here, they're just kind of like finishing trim. I don't know that they add any functionality to it, but I do like, if you look closely here, got the little Patiowell emblem on there. I like that. It's kind of a nice touch. Do have some vents here to keep airflow in, because I'm sure in the summertime when the heat is on and the sun is beating on this thing, it probably does get warm on the inside, as all steel buildings do. Appearance wise, I like the color. It's that like smoky oyster colored gray, and a little lock going on here. You can see we just added some temporary stairs here, but I'm gonna walk around to the side. You can see I don't really have any complaints with the assembly. It went very smoothly. Of course, because of the runoff, the drop in elevation here, mine is sticking out pretty high up off the ground here. Of course, I've got some cleanup to do here, but backside looks good. And here's this side as well. Now we're going to be putting a little chicken door right there, and this whole area will be a covered run. Right now it's fenced in, but the first section, maybe 10 feet or so, will be covered all the way to that fence line. So keep the hawks, which we have a lot of problems with hawks here on the property, getting our chickens, and that's just unfortunate. So we're going to try to keep that from happening too much. Let's go ahead and take one last look inside. All right, from here's our little lock. Doors both open nicely. Put our little work table in here. And for me, height-wise, I mean, I've got a little ways up. I can't stand too close to these, like my head would hit right about there. But in the center here, I'm okay. I don't have to duck down for that, which is nice. Inside looks good. Right about there, chicken door, right about here. Right on that seam, actually, for the 4 foot. We're gonna make all that into our chicken brooding area, chicken area. And then we've got an area for hatchlings that's gonna go right here. So pretty much to the door frame there. And that's gonna be a little heated brooder area. Of course, like most of the stuff on our property, it is going to have solar powering everything. So we'll put some panels up on the roof. On this side on the floor there, we'll have one of those portable solar power packs, and probably a light and stuff for the water. So in the wintertime when things get below freezing, a little water heater for in here. This area here, this table's just temporary so we can help build the rest of our stuff here, but we're gonna put our 2 cans of feed. I have 2 metal steel drums for feed, and then we'll put a bale of hay here. So that'll pretty much wrap it out. Of course, stuff some tools and whatnot if we need to. Just that little area that's left there, we'll put, you know, maybe a rake and a shovel so we can clean out the pen when needed. And probably on this side, we'll have a little trap door to collect eggs in the morning. And right in the middle there, we'll have a doorway to get in. So we need to clean or get at the chickens for any reason, we'll be able to do that. The door, I've got one of those Vavor doors that opens and closes with the sun. So those are kind of cool. They're just automatic open and close. Normally it'll open up into the covered area, but of course we can leave the big door open in the covered area and let them have full run. But let me go all the way to the back wall here. I'll turn around and show you the front. That's pretty nice, huh? I'm really happy with it. Patiowell, I appreciate them offering to work with me on them. I reached out to them for this because we needed it, and they were kind enough to agree to do that if I would just make a nice assembly video. Clearly, like all my videos, if I didn't think the product was a quality product, you'd never see the video on it. But I do. I think it's a pretty nice little setup. I mean, you can grab it and the building doesn't shake or wobble. Now I will come back in here. They only give you a few anchor points, but I'll come back in here and anchor these down all the way around here just to give it that extra added, you know, wind load protection, I would say. You know, when you're building it, let me step outside. We'll finish this up. When you're building it and you just start putting the walls together, like the first thing you look at and you're like, I don't know, it's kind of flimsy. But as it starts to come together, everything firms up. And I think that's the secret to a building like this, is that once it's done, the rigidity is there. But along the way, yeah, if there was a heavy wind load, this thing would kind of flex a little bit in the breeze. But we've had a couple of good sized gusts come through here after the roof was on, and it's as solid as any building I've ever been in. So pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Well, that'll do it for today, my friends. I'm Eric, Farpoint Farms, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, perhaps you'll think about liking and subscribing. And remember that we even offer memberships for those of you who feel like you want to support the channel in some small way. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.